Hello students, we are going to continue the chapter Ionic Equilibrium. Let us just take a recap of what we have done before. In the previous lecture I have introduced you with a concept called as pH. I have given you the definition of pH, that is minus log to the base 10 of hydrogen ion concentration, and also we have introduced POH. Then we have done relationship between pH, POH. Then we have done on the basis of pH how do we classify the solutions as acidic, basic and neutral. And then based on the formula we have done some numericals related to calculate pH and POH of solution. Now let us start with today's session. For that we are going to start with a concept called as hydrolysis of salt. Now firstly, what is meant by hydrolysis? Before going with the definition, let us simply understand the word. If I break this into two parts, that is lysis and hydro. Lysis means for separation and hydro means water. So in this we are going to break water. This breaked water will form ions and that will react with our salts ions so as to form respective things. So basically we understand the meaning hydrolysis as breaking of water. Now let us see the proper definition. It is defined as the reaction in which cations or anions or both ions of a salt react with ions of water to produce acidity or alkalinity, or sometimes even neutrality. As I mentioned, water will break to form ions. Similarly, salt will also dissolve in water to form ions, and then the ions of salt react with ions of water. Depending upon the nature of the salt, the reaction may produce solutions of three types. That can be either acidic, it can be either alkaline, or it can be even neutral. So we are going to see the hydrolysis of some salts, which we are categorizing into four types. The first category what we have to see, that is the hydrolysis of salt of strong acid and strong base. Means we are going to do hydrolysis of those salts which are obtained by reacting strong acids and strong bases. The examples of such salts are NaCl, which is a combination of NaOH strong base and HCl strong acid. Na2SO4, which is a combination of strong base NaOH and strong acid H2SO4. NaNO3, which is a combination of strong base NaOH and strong acid HNO3. KCl, a combination of strong base KOH and strong acid HCl. KNO3, a combination of strong base KOH and strong acid, that is HNO3. So these are various salts obtained by the combination of strong acids and strong bases. Now among this, the question can be asked with respect to any of it. Okay, I am going to explain you with NaCl and then I will show you how to write down with respect to the other salts. Now, as discussed, let us see the hydrolysis of NaCl. NaCl is a salt of strong acid HCl and a strong base NaOH. When it is dissolved in water, it dissociates completely into ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus. Students, please make sure while writing this reaction, the solvent water is important. So aqueous has to be written in the bracket. And secondly, NaCl is a salt of strong acid, strong base. So it will dissociate completely. And that is the reason the arrow should be irreversible. In this case, if you draw reversible arrow, no matter what you have written further, the total marks given to you for this answer will be 0. So in this, these arrows are playing very important role. So make sure you understand the importance of it. Now as NaCl dissociates to form Na plus and Cl minus, we expect that Na plus and Cl minus when combines with water, so Na plus, a cation of salt, will combine with OH minus, that is anion of water, forming NaOH. Similarly, Cl minus, anion of salt, will combine with H plus, that is cation of water, to form HCl. Even though we expect the reaction to be this, HCl and NaOH, being a strong acid and strong base, do not have any tendency. So, the Na plus and Cl minus have no tendency to react with water. Reason, the HCl and NaOH form will not remain as HCl and NaOH, because as they are strong acids and strong bases, what you will observe is they, when react with water, will dissociate completely to form Na plus and Cl minus back. That is, it will result into hydronium ions, that is nothing but your H plus ions, and OH minus, that is your base, or that is your OH minus ion. So in this, if you check, is the concentration of hydronium ion formed and the concentration of hydroxide for ion form is same. So the equality between these two components, that is your hydronium ion and hydroxide ion, as it is same, the resulting solution will be neutral. Thus, the salt of strong acid HCl and strong base NaOH does not undergo hydrolysis. Why it does not undergo hydrolysis? Because the picture before reacting with water and after reacting with water is almost the same. It does not undergo any change. So that indicates that salts of any strong acid, strong base does not undergo hydrolysis. So in this case, in place of NaCl, if they ask you with respect to any other salt, that is Na2SO4 or KCl, accordingly this reaction will change. Okay, but remember, while writing down the reaction, as it is salt of strong acid, strong base, everywhere the arrow should be irreversible. And irrespective of the salt, the concentration of your hydronium ion and hydroxide ion will always be equal. So as far as whenever we are saying salt of strong acid and strong base, it will not undergo hydrolysis. Means the solution after hydrolysis, its pH will be 7.0. Means the solution will be neutral. Now, after understanding the salt of strong acid, strong base, the next hydrolysis we are going to do, hydrolysis of salt of strong acid and weak base. For this, the various examples we can have. First is NH4Cl, which is a salt of weak base NH4OH, strong acid HCl. CuSO4, which is a salt of weak base CuOH twice and strong acid H2SO4. NH4NO3, which is a salt of weak base NH4OH and strong acid HNO3. CuCl2, which is a salt of weak base CuOH twice and strong acid HCl. So these are the various examples. Among this, what we are going to study, that is hydrolysis of copper sulfate. Now, copper sulfate, as it is a salt of strong acid H2SO4 and weak base CuOH twice, when CuSO4 is dissolved in water, it dissociates completely as Cu2 plus ions and SO4 2 minus ions. Again, as it is a salt of strong acid, the dissociation will be complete. Now, the sulfate ions formed in the given salt do not have any tendency to react with water. Why it does not have any tendency to react with water? Because if they both react with water, it will form the possible product H2SO4, which is nothing but our strong acid, and that H2SO4 will again dissociate to give you H plus and SO4 2 minus ions. So among the two ions, an ion, that is sulfate ion, does not combine with water molecule. So what are we left back with? We are left back with our cation, that is copper 2 plus ions. So copper 2 plus ions combines with hydroxide ions of water molecule so as to form unionized copper hydroxide, that is copper 2 hydroxide, which is a weak base. So in this given reaction, you could see I have shown a reversible arrow. Reason, the formation is a weak base. So never ever the dissociation will be complete. It will always be partial dissociation. So here it should be an reversible arrow. So of the water, it will combine with only hydroxide ions and form copper 2 hydroxide plus hydronium ions. So in this given reaction, we could see that of H plus and OH minus ions of water, OH minus ions have been combined with copper 2 plus ions. So when we compare the concentration of hydronium ion and hydroxide ion, we would find that the concentration of hydronium ion is more than that of hydroxide ion. Means based on this, we could find or we could conclude that due to the presence of excess of hydronium ion, the resulting solution of copper sulfate becomes acidic. And to confirm this, we can check it with our litmus paper or litmus solution. So blue litmus will turn to red, which confirms that the hydrolysis of copper sulfate results into formation of acidic solution. Okay. Now in this again, place of copper sulfate, they can ask us with respect to any other salt. So according to that, the cations and anions formed will change. But remember the arrows, very important. Okay. Now for this given hydrolysis of the salt of copper sulfate, there is one question many a times asked in give reason. The question is, it is necessary to add H2SO4 while preparing the solution of copper sulfate. This they can ask us to give reason, that is justify why it is important to add sulfuric acid whenever we prepare a solution of copper sulfate. What's the reason for that? So let me tell you the reason for this. What happens is, when we prepare a solution of copper sulfate, there happens to be a formation of copper 2 hydroxide. This is a sparingly soluble salt. As it is a sparingly soluble salt, the hydrolysis of copper sulfate solution is a turbid solution. Because it is turbid, we have to remove that turbidity. So as to remove that turbidity, if we add sulfuric acid in few drops, then what will happen is, because of the addition of sulfuric acid, there happens to be formation of hydronium ions. Thus, the hydronium ions added shifts the hydrolytic equilibrium towards left. As it converts it towards left, what will happen? The turbidity of copper 2 hydroxide is dissolved and it gives a clear solution. So, the reason for adding sulfuric acid while preparing copper sulfate solution is to get a clear solution. How we get a clear solution? Because the H2SO4 added shifts our equilibrium to left. Means it dissolves the copper 2 hydroxide formed, resulting into the clear solution. Okay. So very important, if the question comes, then along with the reaction, you have to write down the explanation what I just mentioned. Okay. So that is the second salt, hydrolysis of salt of strong acid and weak base.